Go. Good afternoon, everyone. This is 413 Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Raheem Muscalad. Today, I sit with an extremely gifted specimen on one of the best defensive lines in the country. Whether he lines up at outside linebacker or puts his hand in the ground as an edge rusher, opposing offenses need to know where he is at all times. If not, he will meet the ball carrier in the backfield. That's facts. I would like to welcome another Centerville Elk to the show. His name is Joseph Jean-Louis. Welcome to the show, bro. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent, man. So glad to finally have you, man. I want to say, man, I was telling you on Twitter, I was watching tape with somebody else, and just every time you would just pop up, and that acceleration is just like what drew me to you. And I'm like, you know what? Let me find out who this guy is, and watch his film and his highlights individually. And I found you're a hell of a player, dude.
Thank you.
All right. You are one of the nation's best defensive ends at your level, and that continues when you switch to linebacker. But this had to come from somewhere. Where did you fall in love with football, and was it always on defense?
Actually, no. Last year I used to hate defense. I was a wide receiver. That's why I was wanting to bend. But I started kind of taking football serious 8th grade. Once my size started coming in, my height, and I figured out what I could do. Get in the backfield or catch passes to get some touchdowns. So we kind of clicked earlier this year, around first game. I was pretty timid, a little anxious or whatever, and got pulled out first play. Didn't go back in the game. Didn't see the field for the rest of the game. Got put on JV. Played Saturday the next day. Coach said he had to get a little my shivers out. So, kind of didn't sit right with me. So, I just took off from there.
Awesome, man. You play this game very but smooth at the same time, and disciplined as well. Can you tell us what goes into your weekly preparation to make that such?
Film study, playbook study, because we change the playbook a lot depending on teams. A lot of additions, a lot of new calls and stuff like that. So just make sure I stay up to date. Make sure my teammates are up to date. Make sure they know what they're doing. Know their positions too, just in case they have any questions in the field, they can ask them.
Most definitely, man. As long as the guy next to you is doing his job, that's what matters. And it's another great thing that you brought up, in a way, was knowing your job. You know what I mean, and that matters. And in that way, you know the other guy's job, you can be of assistance as well. Academic life, how do you effectively balance everything?
It's not that hard. It's actually kind of fun. I get to keep myself busy, but at the same time, spend time with friends and family. When I get back home, still get, make time for homework, get time in with my tutor and everything like that. So very, very good on time management.
Most definitely. What you do on the football field has to be tough on the mind and body alike. How do you balance rest and relaxation with nutrition and let's say the weight room?
I'm just always on go. I'm always moving. Whether it's from weight room to the trainers to get some ice, or whether it's the weight room in the morning up to class. So just always on the go. I don't really stay still much.
Right. What's your just out of curiosity, what do you have a snack that you like? Anything specific? You know what I mean? That you'll munch on in between workouts or between practice field or whatever? Anything?
Yeah, peppers and ranch. So that's kind of my go-to.
Ooh, okay. Little tip for these edge rushers who want to kind of beef up their frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In your opinion, what makes a great defensive end, and which of those qualities do you think you possess?
Speed, definitely one of them. Being able to keep up with the offense, agility, being able to, move laterally. It's not always a downhill game. Definitely playbook study, knowing what you're doing on defense. There's a lot of calls that change on the fly, so you gotta know all the audibles and all the call outs, what the guy next to you is doing also, just so you don't interfere with him. I think I possess all those. Speed is definitely one of my great traits, explosiveness, coming off the line. So
yeah, dude, that off ball quickness is I haven't seen anything comparable this year yet. You know what I mean? So that is just most definitely a big thing for the end. During the pandemic, when everything sports came to a screeching halt, what did you do during this time to ensure there'd be no drop off in your game?
Bike rides were my go-to. Cardio. Big on it. Keeping my legs in shape. That's cardio. You can lose it real quick. So I make sure I'm all in shape and stuff like that. Using the resistance bands when I'm at home in the living room. Do stuff with my mom, whether it's yoga or stuff like that. Get some resistance bands in there. Get a good sweat in. So make sure I kept up my nutrition. Make sure I didn't slack on that just because it was a pandemic. Go back to honey buns and stuff like that.
Word. Yeah, that definitely, you can't regress, man, especially with the honey buns. Though they are tempting, man. Oh,
they're good.
Yo, they are, man, especially the ice one, man. I go for one as soon as our conversation's over.
Yeah.
Motivation comes from inspiration and success. Who currently or retired in the NFL or NCAA has inspired your game and why?
Chase Young. I tried to model my game a lot after his. He puts his hand in there, but he also can go into coverage too. He comes off the edge. He plays to the whistle. I love his aggressiveness, his toughness, his mentality when the whistle's blown and when the ball snapped.
Most definitely, man. When this morning when I did the normal podcast episode, I was talking about the Washington football team and how they have secretly starting to build something, and especially along that defensive line. And Chase Young was a huge part of what they were doing last year. Though they were 7-9, but it was him, the sacks and just everybody, the off ball speed for everyone. It's he ignited that defensive line, man.
He added value.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a guy to play after, or inspire your play after. Definitely. I think he was like a generational talent, kind of like what Aaron Donald's starting to become over there with the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, like that guy. Good dude. Is football the only thing you do as far as sports, or do you do anything else leisurely or organized?
Yeah, I run track. I just stopped playing football. I just stopped playing basketball. My bad. This past year. So and then I stopped playing soccer. Going into freshman, I used to play for NPL, so National League. So it was my first love. Always been my first love. Still is. Still my favorite sport. But I take football a little more serious.
Most definitely. Wow. So your first love was soccer. That is awesome. And having this conversation and talking with you and I'm going back to different pieces of your film. You know what I mean? And that I see it now, that athleticism, that's where it comes from. That's where that off-ball speed comes from. You're busy with your footwork and all that, and man, now it's starting to make sense from this perspective, anyway. What professional teams are you a fan
of? Pittsburgh Steelers. My whole room is black and yellow. So that's I've always been a fan of them. They've always been on my mind. If I could go anywhere in the NFL, if I could pick when I was a rookie, that I'd be in Pittsburgh, I'd be in Pennsylvania.
Or you'd be alongside TJ Watt and they got Bud Dupree and
Mhm.
man, that's Steelers always been one of my favorite franchises in the NFL. I'm a Packers fan, but
Uh,
I respect I respect what that organization has done over the last 30, 40 years. It is really awesome.
yeah.
Uh, what's the best possible advice one of your coaches has given you at any point so far on your football journey?
One thing that stuck with me is when one of my coaches, it was during 2 days, it was about fourth day in, and none of us really feeling it no more. The excitement kind of wore off. Kind of that realization of, oh, it's that time.
Yeah.
He said during stretching, he was like, you must first be disciplined because you won't always be, what was it? You must first be disciplined because you won't always be, excited and stuff like that. So just the discipline factor, something my program preaches and stuff like that. Just knowing your responsibilities, knowing that even though you might not want to do it, it's something that has to be done.
Most definitely. I like that, man. You're around a lot of stuff. Coaching. What can we expect from you in the NFL going forward?
A good season, stat sheet, to be stacked this year. More of what we saw last year, emphasis on that, some new things, maybe a little more emphasis on coverage and stuff like that. Everyone knows I can get to the ball carrier and get to the quarterback.
Yes.
So that's a given. But, a little more coverage, a little more man-on-man, couple zone, getting the flats and stuff like that. Just some more stuff you haven't seen yet.
Oh man, I look forward. I look forward to it. And as I said, like I've had time to break a couple of your guys, you and your teammates doing more. I see that you guys are a great defensive unit. You know what I mean? It's more. It's you guys can play like a teamness and everybody's quick to the ball carrier. It's a sight to see.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's only going to get better, man. And I really can't wait. And you continue doing what you're doing on the football field. I know you said soccer's your first love, but and I'm pretty sure football, when I'm old man, I'll be watching you on Sundays. All right. 413 Sports Talk would like to thank Joseph Jean-Louis for his time on the show. You're welcome to come back anytime, man.
Thank you.
Please do.
Thank you.
Most definitely.